All right, folks, before we get to John McCormack, senior writer for the Weekly Standard, just reiterating what you've heard, at least one dead and at least one injured in the Virgin Galactic Spaceship 2 crash in the Mojave Desert. This is the baby of British billionaire Richard Branson, and they had been conducting exercises and test flights, and this is a total loss for that spacecraft. I want us to watch this from the Wisconsin Senate race right now. The opponent of Scott Walker has run into some trouble. Take a look at this. It's coming up.
Burke was fired from Trek Bicycle.
A former Trek president says Burke's own brother fired her for slumping sales.
There were significant personnel issues under her leadership.
That was at a point where we had decided we reorganized and eliminated the position that I had
She was fired from her former job at Trek Bicycles.
Burke, quote, was underwater with her European responsibilities and, quote, was not able to handle the job.
Whoa, not too good. That's, of course, Mary Burke running as a Democrat against Scott Walker in Wisconsin for governor. And it came out just this week that she had been fired from her family business where she had said she left it. She's now denied that she's been was fired, but the people with the sources are sticking to their story. John McCormack, senior writer for the Weekly Standard, is with us. Hello, John.
Hello, good to be here.
Thanks for coming on. All right, so was she fired, and how has this shifted the race and the numbers?
Well, you know, it's kind of a semantic question right now, whether she was fired or let go because she wasn't up to the job. You know, depending on how you want to phrase it, yeah, she was let go. She wasn't up to the job. I mean, this was someone who was the president and CEO. Again, this is Mary Burke. This is her family's company.
Yeah, her family owned it, yeah.
Her dad is the owner. Her brother is running part of it. She's running it in Europe, and they've got one guy ahead of them, the president and CEO, to whom they both report. And this comes from the president and CEO, who, yes, Democrats are focusing on the fact that he, you know, gave a little bit of money to Walker. He's a Republican, but you know, he confirmed this thing. And even the, you know, Mary Burke's brother has said that this guy is a decent guy. So it seems like he's telling the truth. And you know, the hits just keep on coming. This story came out the same day that a poll conducted by the Marquette University Law School showed Mary Burke down 7 points. So that didn't even factor in this latest story.
Right.
And you got to factor in the thing that Mary Burke has based her entire campaign upon the fact that she has business skills and her jobs plan. Well, it turned out that her jobs plan was plagiarized, and then we find out that she lost her job because she couldn't handle it.
Wow, you talk about flawed candidates. I mean, there's the Democrats have a ton of them this time around. But I also want to talk about and Scott Walker, man, he has overcome such adversity. But let me ask you this. He was none too happy, reportedly, with Chris Christie. You know, said, yeah, he's coming there to campaign for me, but I didn't ask him to come. He asked if he could come, and I wasn't going to say no, that kind of thing. You know, insinuating, and you probably know better than I, much better than I, that he wasn't getting the support from the Governors Association that he felt he deserved.
Well, I can't speak to the governor's personal feelings, but what we've heard here at the Weekly Standard is that the RGA, are a source with knowledge of GOP spending, is how he phrased it, told us that they were going to pump in $4 to $5 million in the remaining weeks of the campaign. You know, there were some questions in Wisconsin whether or not the RGA was shortchanging Walker because they just didn't see the spending coming. They've had a lot more spending on smaller races in the past. So it turned out that they're going to spend maybe $2 million in the final 2 weeks, so it won't be bad at the end. I mean, if they come through with this $8 million total, they now say that's close, but less to what they spent in 2012 on the recall. It's a little less in Michigan, which some people argue is a bigger state. But yeah, there was, you know, Walker. You got to remember that this is Wisconsin, where there was a secret investigation that went on. They raided the homes of all the outside conservative organizations. They wouldn't even let them talk about it. They took their computers. They took their thousands and thousands of emails under this bogus campaign finance law theory that has been shot down by multiple judges. And so, yeah, the money hasn't quite been what it was in the past in Wisconsin, and people in Wisconsin were relying on the RGA to come through with an effort that was equal to or greater than what it was in the past.
Very quickly, I'm sorry to interrupt. Thom Tillis in North Carolina, he's been called, of course, an Uncle Tom by Alma Adams, who's running for Congress. She said that on a stage just before Hillary Clinton came on stage and then praised Alma Adams. What's Tillis's chances look like?
You know, the race is really narrowed there. At the end of September, Tillis was down 5. He's narrowed it to 1.6 in the Real Clear Politics average of polling. The big question I have right now is whether or not, the undecideds can break towards Tillis, or maybe even those who are now saying they're voting for the libertarian Sean Haw. I talked to him earlier this week. He's kind of an unconventional libertarian. He supports Obamacare's Medicaid expansion, critical of education cuts, supports abortion for any reason up till birth, which puts him to the left of, Ron and Rand Paul.
Right.
So I think he's got a chance there.
Yeah, all right. Well, we shall see. John, appreciate you coming on, and we'll speak to you after the election, I'm sure.
Good to be here. Thanks.
Thank you. John McCormack, senior writer for the Weekly Standard. Very interesting. And, yeah, I would love to see Scott Walker have a significant victory. That would send some message. Okay, the Malzberg panel is next. Don't you go away.